Hey parents and family members, it's Steph from Happy Place to Grow. Welcome back in. I am so glad that you are here once again joining me as we navigate through this very informative and important video series titled The 7 Skills That Successful Kids Have That Set Them Apart. And we all want the children that we work with, whether it be our own children or we're classroom teachers and we're working with a group of students or our grandchildren, we all want the children that we work with to be successful. And these 7 skills that we're covering will help them. They'll become life skills. Now, I have gotten this information from an article that I read in April. The author, psychologist Michelle Borba, laid out the 7 skills just so wonderfully, so manageable. And as I read the article several times, I really thought, wow, how powerful. And I wanted to share the skills with you. So as I navigate through each video, I'm going to link her information, her social media, the article. That way you can click and you can go and discover more information, maybe more helpful videos that she shares and articles. I wanted you to have this information because, again, we all want our children to be successful. And these skills are not only, I'm not going to say they're easy, but they're easy to understand, makes sense, the information makes sense. And Michelle Borba also gives us easy step-by-step. Again, I hate to say the word easy because when you're working on behavior, when you're working on changing a mindset and pathing things in a different direction, that's never easy. But when I say easy, I mean as a parent or caregiver, these are manageable steps that you can take with your child or children to set you off and launch you off in this path to helping develop these skills. So in video number 1, we worked on self-confidence, and we simply just said that as you're working on the skill of self-confidence, you are helping your child believe they can do it. They can solve problems. You're allowing them to struggle in a productive way. You're waiting in the wings. You're not offering all the answers. You're letting them solve problems and make mistakes and get up and rebound and start over again. In this way, you're teaching them they can do it. In video number 2, we dived into empathy. That's a big one, but easily managed with your children because you're going to be working with your young children on labeling emotions that you see, others experiencing, feelings that you feel. You're going to label those, or your child is feeling. Even I thought about the family pet. You know, when your pet is happy, your dog, and they wag their tail. So you're labeling ways that people around you feel and animals, and then you're opening up to your child or children that it's okay. Everybody feels differently at times. It's okay, and that you can have conversations about how you feel. You can express, create a safe place for your child to be able to share their feelings. You're going to share yours so they can feel comfortable sharing how they feel. And then the last tip in the empathy video was to help your child to develop the skills to express how they feel in productive and good ways. So they can exhaust, speak out, express, but they're going to do it in a way that's manageable, in a way that's helpful, in a way that's not going to harm themselves or others. So you're going to create the ability for them to express properly. That's huge. All right, let's get started with today's video. This is a biggie. Well, they're all biggies. But this is the video that in the article it said correlated with the most successful people, or if you have this skill and you can manage this, then you're more likely to be successful. So this one of all of them is a really important one. Self-control. Yeah, it's a biggie. I know for me as an adult, I struggle with this, and we know the children we work with also struggle. But what if, because I know I'm a struggler here too, what if we can help when our children are young, help them to be able to rein in and control and practice that when they're young, so we're developing a life skill that's going to help them later on. Now, I know for me, hey, and I was even thinking too, this could be a family activity. You all could work on self-control. We all still need to rein it in at times. Now, think about self-control. I'm just thinking sometimes of actions, but there are actually 5 areas of self-control. 5, I had 10 up there. 5 areas. Here they are. When you're thinking of self-control, you're thinking of attention, interesting, thoughts, actions, emotions, and desires. So let's go over those again. Attention, thoughts, actions, emotions, desires. So this one's big because you're having a lot of parts of you that you have to sometimes rein in and manage. So when you're thinking about the area of self-control, there are a few little tips that this article gave that I thought would help you navigate your child to work on this area. So the first one, transitions. I know that when my children were young, and even as a school teacher, you have to manage time. And there are times that you have to stop doing things and go do something else. Now, young children often don't realize that time is really important, and they're just doing their thing and they're having a good time. They don't always want to stop. So give them a signal. Create a signal that allows them to know that this is a time I have to close up because we're going to go do something else. And mom means it because it's consistently done. So you're creating a signal. I know as a teacher, lots of teachers do 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. And the kids all know. One thing I did in my classroom was, okay, boys and girls, students, let's come to a stopping place. And they all knew, for whatever you're doing, whatever we're working on, we're going to close that up because she's moving us on to something else. So creating those signals gives your child the opportunity to know, I've got to stop doing this. So make sure that as you create the signal, you share it with your child. And hey, maybe they can even help develop the signal with you. You could Google different kinds of transition signals, and then you and your family could pick the one that's fun, the one that you all like the best. Hey, that gives them some control and some buy-in. And then you practice it with them. If they need redirection, you're prompting them, you're allowing them a little space as they work on it, but be consistent, okay? Don't give up. Also, if you're working on maybe a transition, you're at a store and your child, I know this is a biggie for a lot of children, they're in the toy aisle and they want to pick something. They have money and they're going to buy a little something, but they can't figure out what. Maybe you can set a timer on your phone and say, okay, I'm going to set the 10-minute timer. When the timer is finished, you've got to make your selection. I know when I have a time limit, it always helps me. It always helps me figure out, okay, I need to make this decision pretty quick. All right, now another thing you can work on is help your child to be able to, if they start losing control, give them a cool down procedure. So I know a lot of people will say, okay, step back and count to 10. You know, if you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling angry, you know, step back and count. Or, you know, maybe they could sing their favorite little tune, favorite little song. Hey, even small kids can say A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You know, work on that. So sometimes I know when I'm in a moment, when I'm in a heated moment, and my spouse says, you know, he'll say something to me, and it kind of like, he'll even like joke with me. And then I kind of just step back, and it helps me, okay, what was I so stressed about? So taking 10, singing a little song helps them to kind of just like step back from the moment. Another suggestion in the article was that the children could take a time, step away from the situation to cool off, to think, what's making me frustrated, what's making me angry, to think about it, and then just to take a moment, and then as they cool off, step away, then they can think and choose what their next, you know, don't react right away. Step away from it and then kind of revamp, rethink about it. So in that way, that gives them, you know, a little time to cool off. And then the final thing that she says, I thought this was really wonderful too, because it's even something adults can do, is say things that you like to hear. You know, treat people, this is such a little simple thing, but it's big, it's huge. Treat people, speak to people, say things that you like to hear. If you don't want to hear that, if you don't want to be treated that way, then don't respond that way. And so in these simple little steps, again, you know, self-control, this is a big one because you're thinking about, again, attention, emotions, desires, thoughts, and actions. That's a lot of areas to manage. But, you know, as we're working on these areas and we're growing them and growing our responses, it becomes a muscle memory, a life skill, and it's good for the whole family. We all can practice these simple little self-control techniques and skills, and we can all be sharper and be more successful, a more successful family. I love it. All right, well, I'm so glad you joined me. I know I'm finding these skills really wonderful and helpful. I know you are too, and I want you to not only enjoy the videos and learn from them, but don't forget to share them with family and with friends, and go to Michelle Borba's sites and check out some more information from her. And I know we're all going to be the wiser, and we will definitely find our happy place for sure. All right, until our next time together, I want you to be practicing skill 1, 2, and 3, self-confidence, empathy, and now self-control. That one's going to be a biggie, so get to work on it. I am for sure. And join me for video 4, integrity. That's going to be a good one. All right, until our next time together, as always, have a good one.